Well, welcome back to the road to 2200. I am rated 1926. My opponent's rated 1821. I'm doing something a little bit different today. Instead of my normal 10-5 game, I'm playing a 15-10 game. So I don't know if that's going to be better for you all, worse for you all. It'll be a little bit longer. I'm hoping to do a little more blunder checking. I've been working with my coach on a blunder check strategy to try to knock out those pesky blunders. So I'm going to try to implement it a bit. I figured we needed a little bit more time to be able to go into it. Okay, so this is the advanced variation of the Caro-Kann, very common. The idea is to get my bishop outside of the pawn chain before I close off this pawn chain. Another way to combat it is to just play c5 right away. This is the Tal variation. So I don't know the reason behind every move. I just make them. Probably not the best way to play chess. But I know you're supposed to meet this with this. It allows you to come back. Here, generally, I think I take here. Yeah, so we trade, takes with the queen, and then I have this little snazzy move of going here, check. And if blocks here, then I go here. And because I haven't moved this knight yet, I'm offering a queen trade. Yes, my knight's in an awkward spot, but it can just come back. So this is the question, is f6... I mean, e6 is what you want to do, but I thought here... Okay, so I take... Okay, so I have to give up a pawn in this line? I don't think I'm supposed to give up a pawn in this line. I think I messed it up. Maybe I'm supposed to take there first? I don't know. We'll have to look at this afterwards. I'm pretty sure I didn't mess up the move order. But I'm definitely... Okay, I'm not down a pawn, am I? Actually, so I'm not down a pawn. So we're just left with a weird position where my opponent has some pretty bad doubled pawns. Well, are they bad? That becomes a question, right? They have double pawns, but look at this control they're exerting. Like, they're not bad on their face in the short term, but in the long term, they could definitely become targets. So how are we going to target these guys? Yeah, and this bishop doing a good job controlling the knight squares to target. So I'm thinking about going here to start targeting this one. Also thinking this is probably a good idea. This is probably a good idea. I don't know. I've got a lot of ideas here. I haven't actually played this yet. I'm actually looking at here. That looks quite strong. Hitting a lot of stuff. They'll have to defend that pawn. Then if I want, I could go here and go here. I think I kind of like this. And if they're to take, I think I'm quite happy with that. The question is, like, what about... Yeah, that would be fine. Okay. So, yeah, I think this looks pretty decent. They're not going to be able to stop me from going there. I think my king is actually not that badly placed. It's just kind of interesting. So where's this knight going? It can go here. It can go here to check my king. If the check comes... I guess I also have this idea with my knight, which is intriguing as well. So we have a lot of possibilities with this knight. I'm thinking about going here to stop this incursion. And then if they go here, I don't think I mind that one as much. I can just drop back to, say, here. Maybe even come up and go there. That looks wild. I'm going to go here. Right, real quick check. Where is he going after that? Okay, I think we're good. I think this works. I am a little worried about this pawn. I think probably the best idea is going to end up being push that pawn, trading it for this pawn, and then that pawn in the back here is just a weak, isolated pawn that I should be able to target for the game. It's definitely an interesting game. I think I'm going to learn a lot. It's like I said, I haven't had this line happen yet. Every other time when I've moved my queen here, they've moved their queen out of the way to not have this double pawn happen, and then I've been able to get e6 in. So it'll be interesting to see. Was I supposed to play e6 first? I don't think so. I mean, it certainly is an option. But I'm pretty sure my move was a viable option, and I think I'm pretty happy with this game. If I can go like here, push the pawn, trade it off, and then they have a pawn weakness, I have no pawn weaknesses, I mean, that's pretty good. And that move isn't very special for sure. I was a little surprised I didn't go here. So now I'm considering... Yeah, I think I just go here, actually. I'm going to go here and just push this pawn. And then... Probably they're castling. It feels like the reason they developed that knight. I mean, it's good to develop knights, but it just didn't seem like... I don't know. I just kind of felt like this was probably better, but maybe not. Maybe it's irrelevant. It's move order doesn't matter that much there. I'm a little bit tempted if here to go here. I don't know. That looks interesting to me. Oh, I didn't think about this. Okay, so this is the right move for my opponent. Here, I move, knight goes here. Now look how ridiculous this idea looks. They've blockaded that pawn, and unless I can get rid of that knight, it's going to be a problem. And if I try to go like here to punish them, I mean, actually that doesn't punish at all. They're still there. I think I would be super happy if they took my bishop. Okay, so how do we get out of this mess? It does feel like a mess now. I was feeling great like a second ago. I think it's here, 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 with the idea of being able to go here, and then maybe here, and then maybe the rook comes out, but this is bad. Actually, I'm looking at going here now. Does that work? Just to stop that knight? I just don't feel like I can let that knight in. If I can stop the knight, then I just immediately push, and I think I'm golden. So if I go here, I don't see a way for my opponent to punish that, actually. As weird as that move looks, I think it's okay. I'm definitely nervous. Okay, it just looks like a wild move. Like we're moving to the center, but it's a very clear plan, right? It is controlling e6, which is the entirety of my plan right now. And I could have a new plan, but it feels like if I can get e5 in, and then the bishop can come out, and then the rook can come out, like everything flows. Whereas if I let that knight just boom plant on e6, I don't see what I do. So I think this is right. Okay, that's a good idea, actually. Kind of stifling all of my plans. Sort of. There is an issue that I can go here, and now they actually can't back up this pawn that way. They could go here. Then I would go... I could go, say, here. Basically, my knight's pretty alive at that point. And their knight's going to have to become worse if they want to continue locking that down. This is a very good move if it works. So that is the question. It looks like it does. Looks like it works fine. Yeah, so the question is here or here with the knight. Those are what I'm looking at. I would love to target this pawn, but I guess even then it wouldn't do anything. Okay. Another thing... No, that doesn't work. Oh, boy. This position is a challenging one. First of all, it's not like one I've seen before. And then second of all, I'm very boxed in. I might just have to play e6 to get my bishop out. So maybe that is the move. Maybe I go e6. And then I can go here still. And then I can start getting ideas about taking that pawn. So that's one idea. So my candidate moves are e6, knight, knight. Those are the three moves I'm looking at right now. I like the idea of this move because it feels like it's very, I don't know, it's very pressing, right? Like they kind of have to move the knight there. I feel like if they don't move the knight here, things are going to collapse. Because now, once I take this, now I can push e5 again. So I think they have to move the knight back. Got some chai latte here. Again, remember, tell me what you think. Do you like this longer version? Do you like the short, snappy 10-0? Wow. That's a truly shocking move to me. Okay. Now, why does that work? What is the threat here? Is there a threat here? I mean, if I go here, I just don't see what my opponent has. And I don't even understand why they castled. That doesn't even make sense to me. Why they didn't need to castle. This is hanging too. So it's like, what are you even doing? I feel like maybe I'm missing something. This has happened in the past where it's like my opponent is highly rated at chess, so they know what they're doing conceivably. But I'm looking at going here and then coming back and maybe even taking here. This pawn just seems so critical to everything. I'm taking it. Unless I can see a reason not to. So let's do the blunder check. The blunder check is looking at the tension area and then looking at checks, captures, and threats. So this is the tension area. It's like this square in the middle here. So if I am to take this pawn, can this knight do anything cool? No. There is something interesting that maybe after like here, now they are threatening to plant the knight there. And after here, I also can't push that pawn. I don't know. This all still seems worth it to me. I just don't see anything good enough. I guess this is interesting. I didn't look at that. I definitely should have. Does it give up this pawn? I mean, I'm certainly willing to trade this pawn for this pawn right now. So I'm fine with that, but I'm a little annoyed with myself that in my blunder checking I didn't check that, and wow, I certainly didn't see this. What is happening? So he goes here. I take... What's the follow-up? Okay, the follow-up is this pin. Okay, that's clever. Looks like I will probably lose that knight to that pin. But no, and I can't do this. And if I do that, then that's bad news. Interesting stuff. I could just move the king and say my knight is too good to give up. Can I do that? And it's being attacked, so they'll have to do something with their knight. I certainly didn't see that coming. Okay, so let's look at one more time. Pawn takes knight. If we can make that work, we win. They follow up with this bishop move, pinning the knight to the king. I cannot use my knight to back up the knight. I can't back up with any pawns. If I were to push e5, they would take, and it would be a discovered check, so that's a debacle. And this bishop's totally locked in. So I just don't think I want to take that knight. And they don't really have anything great coming with the knight. Like they can go here, which is fine, but I would just go here and win the knight. I guess not win the knight. Okay, there's also another problem, I guess, that if I go here, now he can land here. Okay, I don't know. I think I have to go here though. I don't think taking the knight is the right option. They can't put the knight in e6 yet. They'd have to first hit it with the bishop. I could move it, blockading this pawn once again, and hitting this pawn. And then if they jump in e6, it is annoying. But we'll have to deal with that when the time comes. I am pretty bottled up again. For a brief moment there, I was like, sunlight. I'm going to be good. Because if I can untangle, and if I had been able to trade this pawn for this pawn, I would have been golden. But now I'm left with my own weak pawn. It's certainly not happened the way I want. But if I get to do this, I think I just win on the spot. Like, that will be freeing. Life will be great if I'm able to make that move. So we will see if that comes to fruition. Wow, this move also is really annoying. So, yeah, this knight is playing quite the critical role and can be so easily chased away by this. Which, by the way, does hit another square in my king's camp. So my king is limited on squares. My pawns are pushed out to the point where these knights have all these squares. Like, my position, the more I am looking at this, the more I'm like, wow, maybe survival is what I'm after here. Also, I'm thinking probably this is a good idea. I would love to trade here and go here. And then this pawn is just a target and on an open file. That would be a really great spot for me. I don't think they would do that. But it would also let me, reposition this knight to a better square, perhaps. I guess they have to move this knight, right? Like, that's just... I keep thinking they could go here. But I don't know that works. Okay, so they go there, hitting this square. So the question is, do I go back here now? I don't think so, because I want to keep covering that square. Wait, can I just go here now? I go there. He takes. I take here. If he goes there, now I can just go here or here with potentially discoveries that are pretty brutal. The big worry I have is after this, now another piece is on the attack. But I think that's the way to go to free up my position. So I go here. A push here. Oh, does that push actually? That push might be devastating. I was thinking I could take that way, but then takes, and I think I lose. So I think the right move is actually to go there. But then it allows knight e6. What can we do here? I'm wondering if just e6 is the answer to stop this. So I go e6, he pushes, I take, takes. I guess the problem is here, then here comes back into play. But now maybe after this, it's less bad. Yeah. I don't know. There's so much happening in this position. I only have 5 minutes left. This extra 5 minutes has not played out quite how I hoped it would. Interestingly, now I do have this idea of hitting this pawn because the square is no longer controlled. Okay. I kind of like that. Yeah. I mean, the idea is they can move this and then this is being hit twice. But I think I can move this knight to back it up. If they go here to kick the knight, then I'm in here. Not there. I also have the bishop that's in play now. So what do I want to do something with the bishop? Like, this looks interesting. And then if he moves, we get to go like here and have this discovery. That discovery looks pretty strong. And then if here, I can just come down here. So I think I like this idea of bringing the bishop in with this pretty imposing diagonal. And if they push, then I take. And if they go here to hit this knight, I think I have an idea like this. So I have to give up an exchange, though. Okay. Oh, this is clever. Now he's being hit twice. Okay, maybe that's the way to go. Oh, what about this way? Hitting the rook, hitting this a second time. Ow, does that just win the exchange? Let's think about this. If I go here, this piece can't move. They could still go here. I could go here. They could go here. But then I would just go here, check, and they would be done. I think this move works. Am I out clevering myself? I've done that in the past, but we're not doing it now. Okay. All right, so we are indeed winning a full piece. Not just the exchange, a full piece. Yeah, let's take the piece. We're going to win a full piece, and if they do nothing, I even have this. And I'm on this. Like, everything just kind of fell apart with that one move. Chess is such a wild game, and it's all tactics. I spent so much time studying positional chess and end games and all the aspects of chess. At the end of the day, what does it come down to? I don't know. Just don't hang your pieces. Play good tactics. Win the game. Okay, and I'm still not like one here, even up a piece. It feels like this is certainly a move. I think I like this better though. Just controlling the board. I'd be on this pawn again. Like this check doesn't do anything, right? I mean, there aren't that many squares, and if he goes there, I go here, check. And that doesn't do anything that I see. And if he goes here, I have nothing. So I'm going to go here. Keep some pressure on. Oh, this hangs this pawn, actually. So, yeah, that was kind of bad. I couldn't have left him there. I didn't see that. There's so much happening here. I'm really having a hard time keeping track of everything for some reason. Okay, so then this will be hit. What is being covered by my rook, my knight currently? What can I do here? Do I have something clever here? I could give up an exchange, but I don't really want to let that rook in even. And now this rook is kind of pinned. So if I went like here, here. So let's say I go here. That check doesn't work because the rook is covered. All I've done is given up a pawn. My bishop is sort of hanging. So if I go here, takes here. Okay, he's still covered, so I would just take. Yeah, I think this works. Yeah, I think this is fine. Doesn't feel powerful, but I don't feel like I need super powerful here. What I really need to do is just trade off the pieces. And if he goes here, I think he loses. Because yes, it wins a pawn, but I mean, I guess I could just take this way even. I was thinking I would take this way. But I think I just take that knight in the back row and I'm fine. Okay, so the plan is double on the e-file. And just kind of say, like, my rooks are better than your rooks. Your rooks are just... You can't even double that other rook as that knight. That's quite nice. I thought, actually, that's what they might do. So, yeah. I think I'm in pretty good shape. I think it would have been foolish to take that pawn. It would have really given my opponent a free hand in the game. And I think this really hampers them. Down to 2 minutes. So, I guess I'm quite happy I took the extra time this game. Okay, what's the best way to do this? Is it here? Or is it here? That's the question. I think it's here. The problem with that is this could eventually be trouble. Moves. I think it's right. It allows me to still continue holding this square. It allows me to now hit this square. I don't know, it feels pretty good. If this knight just moves, I'm just taking here, and I'm quite happy with that. Like, say the knight goes here, which looks like a reasonable spot. We just trade one rook, put the other rook here, put the rook up to here maybe. Well, no, because the knight's controlling it. But that kind of stuff. I should be in good shape. Maybe even put the rook here. Threatening infiltration. I think my coach would say that my open file itis might be kicking in, but I feel like this is a spot where the game is pretty much revolving around this open file, especially since they've stuck their knight on it. I don't think this is open file itis, which is a horrible condition that I apparently suffer from, of always wanting the open files. Okay, I'm going to go here. And if they go here, then I think my move is here, right? Nah, they have this cat. They have that check. That check. Then I go here. And I can't go here because that's quite nice. So here, or do I go here? No, that's a terrible move because of the check. So if I go here, check, here. Oh, also this is backed up plenty of times too. That's nice. Yeah, I think I can just go here, right? Yes, I think this works. Yeah, because if they go here, I go here, and this rook is backed up twice. This bishop is playing a really important role, although actually I still the knight also. So all my pieces are working together in like perfect harmony, and my opponent's pieces are not. And in fact, by going here, this knight is very pinned. Whereas before it was only kind of pinned, but now it's in big trouble. Because this rook is not backed up by the other rook, or by enough pieces. Okay, so that's what I thought they would do. So if I go here, is that what I need to do? Then here, then here. Yeah, that seems good. If I can lure him in. And if not, just takes, and all the rooks come off, and I'm just flat out up a piece. I also have this move, which is interesting. Okay, so that's kind of annoying. I didn't think about that. Okay. So I don't want to do this then. How do I attack him the second time? Here. Here? Yeah, that looks like it works pretty well. That's a kind of an issue, actually. So I think I like better here. So I'm going to go here, drive away the knight again. What? You just blew the whole game? What? I think they just had a breakdown there. This happens when you're losing, I've noticed. It happens to me where it's like, wait, what? But I was definitely winning. The idea was this time I was going to attack like this. We'll look at it on the analysis board. But yeah, that was a win. Okay, I want to look at just this last position to start with. So here, I assumed we were repeating here. And my plan was to go here this time. And then if he comes back in, then I was going to go here. And so the question is, does this work? It looks to me like it does. Let's see what the engine says. The engine says, yes, black has an enormous lead here. The best move is just to go here, which seems... Oh, okay, I see. So that now you can at least maybe do something with the knight, and then the engine says no, we just come back, and now at least black could trade everything off. I could, of course, go here first to get that check we talked about. Although Yeah, they can't go there. So then here, and then trade everything off, and you know, this is clearly a much easier win now for black, now that so many pieces are off. Okay, but it's very important we go back to the beginning, because everything kind of hinged on these first few moves, I feel like. So this is all the tall variation, very normal stuff. Takes. Queen a5 is the main move. Win here, here, e6. This is all theory. So I thought it was theory. This is theory. This is theory. But I freaked out a little bit because I was like, I'm pretty sure this is right, though. So good. I'm glad that I was correct. You are not supposed to go here, which kind of looks promising. Like we're up a pawn, but white is up 2.6. So what I didn't realize is there's also the very concrete move in this line of the check. So they can come in here and check, and this looks like it might get dicey. But even if they didn't have this, and in fact it's not like a mate, the engine's showing just make normal moves. We don't need the engine anymore, because the problem is simply this. How does this bishop come out? Right? Like, it's totally hemmed in. Can't even go here to try to chase the queen away, because the bishop is covering it. Our queen is out of play. Like, everything is a mess. So that's why it's much better to take the queen, take a slightly broken position where your king's safe, right? Like we saw, I was able to just trap my king up even, and it was fine. The queens are off the board. And now theoretically we should be able to get the bishop out. I think I misplayed it. So let's see. Okay, so this is a fine move. The number one move, according to the database, by far, is just go here. Let's just see what that line would look like normally. Like if I just had played the regular moves. Here, here. Okay, and then here. So this is actually what happened in the game, just in a different order. And then g6 to get the bishop out. Very reasonable stuff. What did I do? Not quite as reasonable, I think. I went there, which is fine. I went here to stop the knight, which is fine. They played their knight. And now by far the most common move here, well, not by far, is g6. I played rook e8, which I think is a bad move. Yeah, so there are tons of moves. They're all equal. And rook e8 is also equal, but it's not wonderful. All right, so he went in there. Engine says that's totally fine. Okay, so I'm playing all good moves. Okay, so this, I think, was a little bit of an error. It wasn't a terrible move. It looks like such the obvious move, but maybe e6 is better to just make sure you don't get hit, because this was a very nice response. So, yeah, so that's why this is the wrong move. It's not just not the best move, it's the wrong move because of this, right? So I had the chance to take here. And I don't know if you remember, but I remember vividly saying, oh my goodness, we need to blunder check this. I must be missing something. This is too easy. That castling move was too bad looking of a move. And yeah, it's because of this little trap. I think it was good that I didn't walk into it, although the engine says, no. You have to take. You just have to take. Bishop takes, and I don't know, this looks like a mess to me. Comes up. Gives back the piece, and material is at least even, and you can go here and get your rook in the game, and then probably here, and you know, you can at least get your pieces in the game. Okay, fair enough. So there must be a tactical reason why my way didn't work, because it seemed to work just fine, right? I went here, and I was fine. I didn't think f5 worked here. The engine says f5 wins, and that's really the only move that just wins, is f5. So how does f5 win here? Wait, what happened? We are here, yes. So f5. I thought I take, and I'm fine. Okay, engine says knight f4. Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't really realize all of this. This square is problematic. They can go here. So it's like two squares. So what if we go here? We're behind this double pin thing, which is very intriguing, because when they move the first one, I've got to save the rook. And then when they move this, like, let's say I save the rook here. Oh, no, I'm in check even. I go here, they could take the rook, but yeah, they just take the rook. Yeah, so I didn't see how strong f5 was. I thought I would be fine, but it really did lock me in. My opponent thankfully didn't play it. Played there, and then I immediately said, well, I know f5's good, especially now if you're going to do that, so I defended it. They bring the rook over, which is fine. I set up this little thing here, which the engine likes. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a great move. Yes, and this was... So, interestingly, I thought this was like a Thunderbolt -3 move. The engine says this is equal. Okay. That is a bad move. Now the game is over. They have lost, right? They gave up a full piece. Let's see. What could they have done here? They could have gone here, so that now it's just an exchange you're losing. I thought they were going to go here. This is the move I was calculating. And then I thought, well, I'll take the exchange. And, this is pretty good for me. Like if I want to take here, and now material is off the board. I'm up a full exchange. I get to develop my pieces. This pawn is weak. I'm feeling quite good about this position. So I was very happy, even with that king move. But the move that I didn't see, I guess, is d4. Because d4 is taking away the second defender, the second attacker on this piece. It's forcing me to do something. So if I go here and try to win the exchange, it still seems like I win the exchange, though. So, like, I go here, they take, and then I just move my knight. I guess there aren't a lot of choices. It's just here. And then maybe it's... Okay, I thought maybe this was something. That actually looks quite good. How does that not just win? Let's see here. I can go here to defend him. And then after here, we can go knight takes f4. Oh, right, because we saved the knight. What? This works? I don't see how this works. They take. Oh, and then we take and get it back. Wow. Jeez. Okay, so that's a lot. But if we go here and they play b4 immediately, now it takes away this idea, and now they are threatening this. So let's say I were to... I was about to say, let's say I save this knight. Question, where? The knight has no squares. Now what's interesting is after here, it can go here, but if they go here first... Wow, I didn't realize how trapped that knight was. Okay, so that is an issue. So, my opponent missed essentially an only move here, which, I mean, it's real hard to find only moves, and after missing the only move, everything just went down in flames, and then we got to this position where my opponent stuck their own knight in there, and then, could not extract it, and then in momentary loss of the brain, which happens in losing positions, they just moved their king, gave up the knight, and ended the game. So, takeaways. Tactics, man. I mean, there were several tactics in this game. There was what I thought was a game-winning tactic of this idea of hitting here. I thought that was really brilliant. Apparently, it was only kind of brilliant because that is good against it. There was my opponent's really nice tactic that I missed early on of making what looked like a weird move here and allowing me to take here, which actually basically loses the game for me, pretty close. And me even recognizing that there's something here, but not being able to see. It's hard. It's hard when there's a piece on the square, like right here. You're like, well, the bishop can't go here, and I'm really gonna calculate knight takes pawn, then bishop there. Come on. These are actually my weakness. If you ever see me over the board, what you want to do is knight takes pawn. A good knight takes pawn move wrecks me every time. So this goes in the catalog. So just another really important tactical piece. And then I think it's very important that I knew in the opening that this was fine. Because I could see someone getting here and going, I know I'm supposed to put my queen here. And then they go here and you go, wait, what? And you take here and you take here and you go here and you panic. And you're like, oh my goodness, my king's safety is messed up. My bishop can't come out. I guess I made a mistake and I lost. It's one of the reasons why opening theory can be helpful in that, like, it takes away those worries, right? So it's not like opening theory won me this game by any stretch, right? There was a lot of chess to be played. And in fact, the engine says this is equal regardless. But it did do two things for me. It gave me the confidence to know that this was not a busted position, which maybe someone could have freaked out and thought. And then also it let me know this is the wrong idea. Even though I'm up a pawn, this is a terrible plan. Well, up a pawn temporarily, right? They could just take it if they want. But this is a bad plan. I just knew that from my opening prep. Like, it's not an opening trap necessarily, right? But it's an opening sort of positional trap where you're just kind of busted from here. So it was a fun one, and I feel like it was a good reminder to keep doing my tactics, and I did enjoy the extra time. So let me know what you think. Did you enjoy the extra time I had, or were you like, no, man, 10-0 is perfect? Talk to you next time. Have a good one.